It is that time again. It's time to react to some Dokkan hot takes from the boy Arbu Look or Arbu Beast over on Twitter. So let's get right into it. The first hot take is that the Golden Week units last year were the best designed units of the year. Do I personally, real Saiyan, agree with that? I'm gonna have to say yes, because the best unit of the year, arguably, was Bulma, arguably. So, it's got that going for it. Furthermore, Piccolo Jr. was my personal favourite unit of the year. Tech Goku has one of the best leader skills in the entire game, and arguably one of the, if not the highest cap. Even the banner unit Krillin was and is pretty good. So, I'm gonna have to back it. Like, in terms of having well-designed units, the last year's Golden Week celebration might be one of the best ever. Ever. Like, it was that good. So the boy Arbu Look, I agree with you, but I don't know if that's really a hot take. The hot take would be, these were the best designed units ever. That would be a hot take. But saying of the year, like, what's the competition? God Goku, sure. You can debate God Goku in there. But God Goku is one singular unit. You can't compare one unit to like 4 or 5 different units. Of course, the one with more units is gonna win. Orange Piccolo technically came out the year before. And then outside of that, Future Gohan, sure. To be fair, the worldwide celebration was comparable. It was comparable. You know what? I'll allow it. I'll allow this as a hot take. I wouldn't necessarily say it's a hot take, but I'll allow it. Let's move on. Maybe it will get worse, or maybe it will get better. Let's continue. Stats boost and raise defense on Super to return. Oh, okay, so the point of this tweet is that UI Goku needs to raise his stats on his super attack to be the best Easy A. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. I mean, maybe. Doing, like, raising defense on super would definitely help any unit, period. But I feel like this unit is gonna be a dodge or die kind of unit, even after the Easy A. Maybe not, actually I take that back. Because then that would mean they haven't changed the unit at all. What they should do is allow him to tank normals, double digits, but then he'd be too good, because then he's got a 70% chance to dodge super attacks. I don't know. It's going to be tricky to balance this guy. It's going to be tricky. We'll see what they do. No matter what, he's more than likely going to be good, because not only is he a Dokkan Fest LR, he's an anniversary Dokkan Fest LR, and then on top of that, he's going to Easy A during the 9th anniversary. So, he's probably going to be good, but let's wait and see. Overhated on release. No. You can argue these two are correct. Like, these two first takes are correct. But this is just stupid. Not only is he not overhated, he is underhated. I'm not saying he was bad. I'm not saying he is bad. He's beastless. And he's... Okay. Put the fact that he's beastless to aside, which is a big thing you're putting to aside. But let's put that to aside. Even then, I was never overly impressed with this unit. I just wasn't, and I'm still not. He's not that guy. He's not him. And that's after I said that. Put the fact that it's beastless to aside. Even if you put that humongous factor to aside, which is a big jump already, he really was not as good as I would have wanted him to be. His guard should have been permanent. That would have been huge, to be fair. Or something like that. Like, he needed something more. Like, they give Orange Piccolo all of the love, and they gave this guy nothing. On top of the fact that he was beastless, and we still need a beast Gohan. So far we've got 2 decent takes, and we've got 1 garbage take. Let's continue. Only if they had guard for the... Yeah, honestly, if this unit had guard for the first 3 turns, ooh, that would be dirty. But to be fair, I don't think that's a hot take. But let's say it is. I definitely agree with it. I was saying this from day one. This unit is the exact kind of unit that really needed God for a few turns, even if it's only 3 turns. Like, God would have hugely benefited them, because that would allow them some time to build up their defense. And that's exactly what they need, because they start off a bit too weak in terms of defense, which is very important. If he was hitting higher numbers, nobody would have complained about him. I disagree. The factor that I would change about this guy is not the numbers necessarily. You could change that to make him better for sure. I won't argue against that too much. But if you could only change one thing about the unit, it wouldn't be the numbers. The one thing I would change is his transformation conditions. Let him transform turn 4, 4-3, or as a minimum, let him transform turn 5. Ideally, just let him transform turn 4, and we're looking good. But unfortunately, sometimes you might get unlucky and not get the transformation, because it's not consistent, but it's not as consistent as you would want it to be either, if that makes sense. A new summonable Goku Black would have helped Zamasu's team by a lot. Yeah, I mean, this is not a hot take by any means. Like, this is just not a hot take. Obviously, more options would benefit the team. Like, that's just, if you said Zamasu, like, I knew Zamasu would have made his team top 5 or top 3, maybe you could argue that's a hot take. But to say it would have made his team better, it's not a hot take at all. Like, it's just not. Like, it's just obvious. But let's move on. In their base forms, Trunks is equal to the Blue Fusions. No, absolutely not. The reason is actually it depends. Because if you're against AoEs, turn 1, then obviously the fusions are gonna very much be negatively impacted by that. But outside of that, the Blue Fusions are just better because of their dodge. So even in their base forms. But if we include AoEs, then you can probably argue either way, to be fair. Unfortunately, his easy A, to be fair, I will give you that this is a hot take. I don't know if I necessarily agree or disagree, because you can argue it either way. So you know what, Abu? I'll give you that one. Unfortunately, his easy A is going to be worse since his kit is still broken. I disagree with that firstly, but even though I disagree, this is not a hot take, because most people agree with this, and if most people agree, then you can't say it's a hot take. But to be fair, I don't agree. I think with Tackle Ultimate, I've been wrong before, but I'm optimistic about Tackle Ultimate Gohan's easy A. The reason I'm optimistic is because it's gonna be difficult to make him not good, because he's already got guaranteed guard. He's already stacking defense. He's still an acceptable unit. Well, for how old he is, he's still an acceptable unit, a usable unit. It's going to be difficult because all they have to do is increase his stats, which they're guaranteed to do, increase his start of turn defense, like in terms of the percentages in his passive. And he's already stacking defense and guarding. Like, it's going to be tricky to not make him super good upon easy A. But we'll see what they do. Been a year and he's still number 1. Again, I mean, I'm not saying I disagree with this. If anything, I might agree with this. But number 1, in terms of value, Blue Vegeta is the best. But if we're saying based on individual performance, you can argue Orange Piccolo is number 1. And I wouldn't necessarily argue with you. But that's not a hot take, because most people agree with that. So it's not really a hot take, but let's continue. Red Zone Broly can wipe out every monthly TUR released in 2023. Red Zone Broly can wipe out every monthly released... Wait, I need to reread that because my brain has gone words. I'm having a brain freeze right now. Let me take a few seconds to collect my thoughts and then I'll read it. 1, 2, 3. Deep breath, let's get back into it. Red Zone Broly can wipe out every monthly TUR released in 2023. Potentially. I'm not gonna argue with that. Like, if you don't play correctly, then sure. Because, like, for example, with Tech Goku, if you've got a revive off already, Or if his God's active, he'll easily survive. God Goku can easily survive if you give him the orbs. It depends on the situation. Because with God Goku, if you don't give him the orb, like 6 orbs, he won't guard. And then he'll get one shot. Because he's got type disadvantage. So, yeah, this is potentially true. Like, they could easily survive, depending on what happens. And they could easily die. I won't argue with that. LR Birdku didn't age, but got harder replaced when the GT Duo released. I don't agree. I see what you're saying. I do see what you're saying. But, I mean, you can certainly argue that. You can certainly... I wouldn't say hard replaced. I would just say replaced. If you remove the word hard, I would agree. But with the word hard, I don't know if I agree. Because the Goku has different teams where you can run him on. So I'm not going to agree with that. But I'll let it slide. I'll let it slide. And I think this is the last one. Getting rid of Chain Battle rather than Patan was the worst decision they made. Yes, my boy, Abu, let's go. This is one of the biggest Abu Ws I've ever seen. One of the biggest Ws on Twitter I've ever seen, period. Yes. They should have got rid of Patan Battle rather than Chain Battle. If they want to get rid of Chain Battle, fair enough. But first get rid of Patan Battle. Patan Battle is so pointless. I hate it so much. Chain Battle gave out equipment, while Patan gives... Exactly, Patan gives nothing. It gives nothing. And even if it is just so boring, it really is. But Chain Battle, I was starting to get that. I was starting to like it. Not that much, but a little bit. But whether or not I like it is not the point. Patan Battle is just awful. It's just awful. And they should have removed that. This is a hot take. And I definitely, completely agree with it. What's this? Hot take. This is another person now. Jiren is cool as a character. No. No. His design, you can argue is cool. I'll give you that one. But as a character, he was just not. He was just such a badly written character. I went into a rant about this in yesterday's video, and I'll briefly go through it again. Like, his character, it was just so badly written. Because 1 second, he was introduced as some really like a good hero. Like, he was such a good guy, like, to a point where he does nothing but help people. And then all of a sudden, he tries to kill the innocent bystanders that are just watching the fight. There's 2 reasons why that's just bad writing. Number 1, it contradicts how he was introduced like 5 minutes ago. That's number 1. But then even worse than that, number 2, it was just, even if he was like an evil person, that is still a stupid thing to do. Like, just in the context of the story, because he would be eliminated. Because you're not allowed to do that in the tournament, that's the rules. So, I'm sorry, what? It was just so badly written. Like, the only reason they did that bad writing was to show that he's a bad person. But it was just not... I can't be bothered. I went into it yesterday, and I've gone into it again. But I don't want to go into it any more than that, because it's going to get me annoyed. So let's continue. Vegeta needing... Okay, let me say that again. Vegeta needing an entire team of heroes or grade 8 power, Riz. Goku needing 1 revive unit, harassment. I mean, me personally, I've never really been a guy that has attacked Tech Goku. If anything, I've always defended Tech Goku, so I'm not going to argue with that. Both of them are really good. Individually, Vegeta was better. In terms of overall performance, Tech Goku's better. But and the reason I say that is because there's just a lot more setups that are better that you can run with Tech Goku. Whereas with Vegeta, you're very limited with the units you can use. To be fair, honestly, even in terms of overall value, you could probably argue it either way. I would just say Tech Goku's better in terms of overall value. And then based on individual performance, Vegeta's easily better. Easily, by the way. I mean, well, yeah, this is just obvious. God Goku is just better than 21. Like, you can't argue with that. Like, you just can't. Like, there's no debate to be had. leader skill, link set, individual performance, overall impact, everything. God Goku is just better. There's no debate to be had. I've gone through this tweet before that I personally made, but I'm gonna go in it again because it's a hot take video, and this is my own biggest hot take ever, which is that this unit over here, I did change the word best over there, and I said it's the most valuable, not the best. So let's go through the tweet. The blue boys, this unit over here, is currently the most valuable unit in the game, based on overall performance. Not on individual performance, but overall performance. When you factor in their leader skill and their slot 1 utility, they are number 1. I personally feel the safest when I'm running this guy's team with them as a leader. That team is just indestructible from in my own experience. Obviously, there's situations where you can get caught, but if you get unlucky with this unit, but overall that team is just way too good. With that said, let's do a quick subscriber challenge. If you guys agree with me that this unit over here in Dokkan right now is underrated, then you have to subscribe because that is the challenge. With that said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, then do subscribe, especially if you just failed that challenge, because that is indeed the challenge. Also, do leave a like and comment because those things do help out. With that said, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Ta-ta, adios, and bye-bye.